Hi, I want to welcome you back to my program today. I'm going to be bringing a short teaching on I know the thoughts that you're thinking. Did you ever think that God knows our thoughts? He knows our actions, our deeds, what we do, but He knows not only our thoughts, but our heart. And so I thought I would just teach a little bit on this today. So stay with me and let's see what God knows. You remember in the Old Testament, the book of Jonah. It's only, 4 or 5 chapters long. It's very short. Jonah was a prophet, and God told him to go to Nineveh and preach to the people. They were sinning, and God told Jonah, go and preach to these people. Jonah said, I don't want to go there. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't even want them to get saved. They're bad, evil people. I don't want to see them be blessed. And so I just won't take God to them. I'll just keep God to myself and I won't obey God and I'll go a different direction. So he buys a ticket, gets on a ship, and while crossing the ocean or the sea, a great big wind comes up and the ship is about to break. And as the sailors and everyone get to talking, they find that it's Jonah, that Jonah has disobeyed God. So they throw Jonah overboard. And then the Bible tells us that a great big fish, we've always said a whale, but a big fish, big enough to swallow Jonah, comes along and scoops up Jonah. Now Jonah, while in the belly of the whale, he cries out to God. And basically, he agrees to serve God and ask for forgiveness. God has the whale to spit Jonah out on dry land. Now when Jonah got out of that whale, guess what God told him to do? You got it. Now get up and go to Nineveh like I first told you. You see, God knows us so well that He knew Jonah well enough to have a whale waiting on him. Now, a whale that size, a fish that size, does not start out as a fish that size. A fish that size had to have some time to grow. And so, I've always found the story even more interesting when you think about the fact that God didn't just know that Jonah would now need help. He had to back it up in timeline to get a fish growing. Yes, he could have just thrown in a great big whale right then on the spot. But I have a feeling that that fish was being raised by God as Jonah's answer in time of need. So, with all that said, kind of prepping for today, in Isaiah 66:18, God says, for I know their works and their thoughts. You see, God knew Nineveh. He knew their works and their thoughts. He knew Jonah. He knew his works and his thoughts, and He does the same for us. He knows our works, what we're doing, how we're behaving, and what we're thinking. Nothing can be hidden from God. If we go over into Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, and I'm referring to the New King James Version. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I sanctified you. You see, God, He is our Creator. Before we were born, God knew all about us. He had a plan for us. Jeremiah 29:11, He says He has a plan to bless us. God knows us so much better than we know ourselves because, for one thing, He knows where we're headed. He knows our destiny that He has written in all of eternity for us. He has a plan for us, and He knows us so well that He knows what we're thinking. Wow. I thought I was the only one that knew what I was thinking. No, God knows me better than that. He knows what I am thinking and what I will need. In fact, in Isaiah 65:24, you might want to write that down. Isaiah 65:24. It shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are still speaking, I will hear. God hears us. He hears our cry. He knows our frustration. He knows what we're thinking, not just what we're saying. Oh, He knows what we're saying, and He knows how we're behaving. He knows whether or not we're being a help or a harm. And He knows if maybe we're being a help but we're thinking contrary. Or maybe we're being a harm but regretting it and wishing we had a way out. God knows us, folks. He knows our thoughts. He knows what we're thinking. I want to say that so many times because sometimes we think that we are alone. God is in your thoughts with you. Let Him guide your thoughts. Before you call, He will answer. If He has to grow a fish a year before, He will have it on hand when you need it. Your answer is ready for you when you need it. Thank you for staying with me today. It was kind of fun talking about Jonah and how God knows our thoughts. You know, I've heard from 2 or 3 in the last 24 hours who are watching and are making comments. And I just can't tell you enough how exciting that is in my spirit to know that you're watching and talking about them and sharing. I thank you so much for doing that. God bless you.